very exciting to. I don't think I talked to you since you've even released another album since the last time we talked.
Yeah.
And that one did pretty well, right?
Yeah, See Where the Night Goes before this one, which Deep in the Trouble. Yeah, we loved it. We it was a great record and a great I don't know. We tried something new on that record. Same with this one, which I believe you've been sent that record.
I've only got the single.
Okay.
Was it in the email? Maybe I didn't read closely.
I'm not sure, but I
Okay.
thought you might have gotten it. But if not, and you do have it and you don't know it, check it out.
No, I definitely will. Yeah, because I listened to the single last night a couple times and watched the video and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I heard
Yeah.
you guys talking about the new song, so I was very intrigued. And like you're saying, like the single is kind of more old school, Goodbye June, but some of the other songs are going to be more of a departure.
Yeah, I think it's kind of See Where the Night Goes was kind of a little more very loosely, cohesive as far as just stylistically, and I think this record's it's kind of all over the place again, like other records we've done in the past, and um, there's something for everybody, but at the same time, I feel like it all has kind of a similar vibe to it as far as fitting the theme of the record. So that's cool, and I think we all kind of got different outlets and put on this record essentially between the three of us. So
What is the theme? Is there what I know it's called Deep in the Trouble, which when I think I first heard you guys talking about, I thought it was Deep in the Treble. And I thought it was like a play on words. And then I read it, I was like, oh no, it says Deep in the Trouble. So
yeah, no, it's that's kind of the theme. I mean, it's just kind of going through life situations, and then it's not all like negative per se, but it's all definitely walk of life based stuff, and we've got plenty of that type of stuff to talk about. So it just kind of worked, and then leading off with The Hard Way, as far as putting the first song out, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, like, it was the first song we did for the record actually that we recorded, so kind of
yeah,
nice.
what is that song about? I mean, the lyrics are pretty self-explanatory, you learn the hard way, but what are you referencing in that lyric?
I think that song's probably a good way to capture the entire album because it's very basic. There is not much behind it. I honestly, we started jamming that song like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer, at sound checks, and it was in no way, shape, or form the version that it is now, mind you.
Hmm.
I think it was just like me like singing lyrics like the hard way and saying stuff, and we had some guitar riffs, but I think it greatly transformed. And every once in a while, like sound check songs, as we call them, or sound check pieces, they'll kind of eventually evolve into a song if they stick around long enough. So
Hmm. But
so
lyrically, you can't reveal what you're referencing when you say learn the hard way, or is it just general? Is there a lot of things you learn
I
the hard way?
I think that song best, like I said, there is nothing behind it. It I think it best describes the entire album. Like
Okay.
in a broader on it, like in a broader picture. I think it best describes the entire album, which there's a lot to dive into in that. But I mean, uh, yeah, it's a deep record. It's very so we've never done a lot of the stuff that we did on this new record coming out. So we're excited for everybody to hear it for sure.
Yeah. Well, the hard way it's out, the video's out. What I thought it was interesting, the video. I mean, it's such a kick-ass song. It's like a bluesy hard rock, very reminiscent to some of your other hard rock and songs like that. And if people haven't listened to your band at all, it's definitely they could start there. I feel like that's a great song to start with. But I noticed in the video you have an American flag. Now, is that's like kind of controversial right now? Like, is that ironic in a way, or is that like pro America? Because I feel like right now it's very mainstream to hate America, and it's almost like punk rock if you like America. Whereas it used to be the opposite. I don't know. What is that just a coincidence you have American flag in the background?
That's Tyler's garage. Honestly, a lot of that stuff was just there, and we kind of set up a few other things. But honestly, you'd have to ask him that question.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
save that one for yeah, it's kind of a funny video because like your guys are like you're playing and then I don't know, like did that just was it the director's idea to just have the people kind of there's like switching positions where sometimes they're playing the instrument and sometimes they're not, but the song is still going, but they're like they're not playing their instrument while the
Oh
song.
yeah, that was all on purpose. I mean, because I mean, us three write a lot of the music and the lyrics and everything, but live we play with the full band, right? So we wanted to just record. We wanted to capture a music video of how we write together, and that was a kind of a good way to do it. Like me and Brando will switch back and forth from the kid, or Tyler will hop on bass, or blah blah blah. And so we just kind of wanted to make a video like that, and it wasn't really. We wanted it to have that live performance aspect, but at the same time not be so focused on it that it had to be perfect. And basically from our head, like our viewpoint, it was basically like this is like a weird way to show how Goodbye June like writes a song or jams out or like gets ready for the next record or whatever.
Yeah. Is it pretty cheap to film a video like that? Because you guys are doing this all now yourself, right? You've cut ties with a label, and that's by choice because you want to do it yourself. Because then obviously you can get more of the profits or whatever, right?
Well, I think it depends on every band's situation. Obviously, I think we just wanted to kind of go for it and see what happened. And luckily, videos. I will say, if you know the right people and you have great friends like we do, it is something that you can pull off, especially comparative to like 15, 20 years ago. Music
Oh
videos,
yeah.
they were insane.
So different now because back
I
in the
mean,
80s and 90s, it would cost so much money to make a music video.
they
And
would
if
have
you
like $1 million budgets or bigger for music videos.
what's that?
People would have like a million plus, music video budgets.
That's
It was
crazy though,
insane.
but I'm saying
Yeah.
like the camera work and stuff, like you can't tell. Like we're in the 80s and 90s, if it was a low budget music video, it looked like somebody just had a camcorder, and set it up. Whereas now
Right.
your video, I mean, yeah, you don't have a lot of special effects or anything, but like the camera, I mean, it's total HD. It looks completely professional. It looks like a totally professional video that I have, that would have cost
Oh yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars,
Well, I mean, the director
years
who
ago.
did that, he had a number one active rock song that he did music videos for. He's with the Badflower camp, the rock band Badflower.
Joe,
And
right? Joe Honninger.
no, that's
Oh, or no,
he's
sorry, that's your
sophomore.
photographer.
Yeah. No, this guy's he's with Badflower. He's in their kind of group and shot several music videos. So he's a
Oh,
pro.
okay.
He is a pro. So he did a great job. Jordan, shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah. So you
So,
got him from Badflower, and then sorry, Joe's in Hailstorm, and he did the
yeah, he did a photo shoot for us one day, and we ended up using it for the album cover. So it worked out really nice.
because he does like candid shots, and which is better for you guys than doing like the staged like poses and stuff. That's
Right.
funny.
Yeah, it's somebody who like, and makes it comfortable as opposed to like staged, like kind of like you were saying. Like it's not it's not so like, hey, you ready to get your picture taken? It's more just be you and hang out and we'll see what we come up with.
But isn't there some of that in music? Like when you go on stage, do you have to practice out your stage moves and try to do things that show the crowd, or do you just feel the music and then that stuff just comes naturally so it doesn't feel phony?
Oh man, I'm the worst at choreography and dancing and just horrible rhythm in my body. So I don't really practice anything. I just go out there and kind of do it. I think if I practice like stage stuff outside of like actually practicing the songs and stuff, I'd probably end up making myself look like a really, really big idiot because I'd probably end up falling or something. I don't know, which I've done before without even trying. So, uh,
Really?
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
so I've never seen you guys live. I don't think you've been to Arizona, at least in a while.
It's
Do you
been a
run
minute.
around and stuff or what?
It's been a minute since we've been to Arizona. I think it's been, shoot, the last time we were there is probably Tucson, and that was
Okay.
probably 2018.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I had discovered you guys
Yeah.
yet. But so when you're on stage,
Yeah.
are you running around? Are you feeling the crowd? Are you just, or are you one of those more just like stand in place kind of guys and
I'm
sing?
kind of chill for the most part, unless I kind of, if I feel it, then I'll kind of, you know, take off like tambourine and move around or whatever. But for the most part, I stay in my little bubble. I'm not too crazy.
Does it change if you've had some substances, perhaps if you've had some of the three-chord whiskey that you guys have or whatever that, does that make a difference?
Excellent bourbon, by the way. Uh, no, I mean, I think I kind of still just stay in my zone, like in my area, because I have to hit a lot of high notes, and if I start running around and acting crazy, that's just going to deplete those and make me look bad if I'm starting to hit flat notes. So I can't get too crazy, unfortunately. But after the show, you can always catch me running around and sneaking a cigarette or two.
Yeah. So do you have like little routine and little tricks for your voice to keep it in shape and to be able to hit those notes on stage?
Man, I swear by just warming up, like even if it's 20 minutes before a show, just warm up and climb the chain of command. If you're a vocalist, you kind of know what that means as far as like getting there. But and yeah, as long as you do that and then try to avoid dairy, you'll be fine. A lot of people swear by vocal warm downs after a show.
Mm.
And honestly, I've done that like 2 times in my entire career. So I can't really tell you if it works or not because I've never really been good at remembering to do it.
Hmm.
Typically, my vocal warm down's like a shot of whiskey and a cigarette or something. So
Gotcha.
that's horrible, right? I need to try and do the vocal warm down instead. But
Yeah. Do you drink anything before? Because like I had the singer Buck Cherry on, and he said that he'll drink water before, but he does not drink. I think it was the rule. I know he doesn't drink during the show, which I thought was crazy because I thought between songs or between set, like, between a couple songs, you'd want to have something to drink especially if you're playing for like an hour. But he's like, nope, I
yeah.
don't drink anything.
I try to keep it to like just a few on stage. Um, and that's about it. I mean, I don't get too crazy. A few years ago it was a different story when we were younger. But
Like even water, because that's what I'm saying. The Buck Cherry guy, he's like, he won't even
oh
drink
yeah.
water.
Oh no, I'll definitely drink water. I'll always have water. Always have water, and typically some bourbon or something.
Hmm.
Up there if I need it. Uh, for the vocals or whatever. Because I mean, if you're drinking, especially with our type of music, if you're like trying to, we're even like trying to get drunk and all playing, it just sweats right out of you. So it doesn't even really matter.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So typically it's like throat related, like, if I want to like coat my throat a little bit or whatever. But
That's cool. Do you have some shows lined up, I think, with Moon Fever, right? Are you going to be adding more with them or other shows going to be
I
booked?
think,
There's only like 5 shows booked or something.
yeah, I think we've got, let's see, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows. May 2nd through the 17th, kind of hidden all over the southeast, like Texas, Memphis, Knoxville, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, St. Louis, Houston, Dallas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Bossier City. And then yeah, I think we're actually already working on some more dates and stuff that we're going to be doing like starting in late June and then moving on from there. So that could be a collaboration of stuff like us doing like another tour to promote the album, along with maybe some direct support stuff. So we'll see.
Okay. Anything, another collaboration with Badflower? Because I thought I heard somebody saying that uh this singer Joey's from Badflower is playing bass for you or something.
Joey, well, he's not the singer; he's the lead guitarist, and he is playing bass with us.
Yeah.
He's going to be on this tour coming up.
That's
So
just for like a few shows just to fill in or
yeah, he's just filling in for us, man. We're stoked to have him. He's a great friend of ours. He lives here on the east side of Nashville. We're family, so it worked out, man. He was free. They aren't doing studio stuff right now, and they're not touring. And he was happy to do it. So
yeah, I think he popped in on the. I was rewatching our old interview from like 3 years ago, or maybe it was 4 years ago. But I remember he like popped in. He was like right next to you. It was so weird. I was like, "What? He's just hanging out with you?"
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, because we were at the farm out there. I think.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's right. It was New Year's, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, I was out there. That was the lead singer of Badflower and Joey, and that was actually the whole band there. I
Yeah.
was hanging out with those guys that night. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, yeah, they're good dudes, man. Yeah, we're excited to have Joey on board. It'll be fun. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
that's awesome. So the one you have dates set up with Moon Fever.
Yeah,
What's going on with them? Because like I know I had Cody on. He was their singer, but now they've got a new singer. So what happened with all that? Like, are you what do you think of the new singer? Is he pretty good?
man, I'd be lying to you if I knew.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. You know what? I just found out about those guys a few months ago, and I love their stuff, but I don't know in depth.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
know.
don't know much about the new stuff because I had Cody on. I
Yeah,
loved that first, or I don't know if it was the first or second out, whatever the one with like cocaine. They had all these really bad
yeah,
songs, and they had the producer. He produces a band here called the Black Moods, and he produces some other kind of more indie bands. But I think I found them through him because I'm a fan of his production work, and I was like, wow, this band is amazing. I thought they were so cool, but then I was so sad that Cody left because felt like Cody was a huge part of it. So
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure. That makes me look horrible. I apologize.
no, no, no. I mean, that stuff is very common that this the stuff I mean, you guys have so many things going on trying to get
Yeah,
ready for the record, probably haven't even looked at touring yet. I mean, that's not for a while. You're probably just trying to promote this album, right?
yeah. Just staying busy, man. Honestly, it feels like we've been shooting music videos like every weekend or
Oh,
every
do you do a
once
video
a
for
week.
every song or
Not every song. Just here lately, we've been doubling up. I think probably when it's all said and done, we'll have I think five, hopefully. So we actually have four in the bag right now, including Hard Way, which is already out. But I think we're gonna try and get one more in there for one more song. So we'll see. I'm hoping.
yeah, so like talk about some of the songs on the record because I just heard some rumblings about like what they are like the very different like there's a song that's an acoustic guitar song that sounds like was described as a Metallica Nothing Else Matters type of song. Sounds intriguing.
It's a song called "Pile of Bones," actually, and it's a very cool. Dark song, and Brando came up with a really cool guitar intro, and Tyler as well. And it's got its own vibe for sure. It's yeah, it's like southern, you know, yeah. Nothing else matters meets something. I don't know, but it's a very cool song. We actually just shot a video for that 2 weeks ago, and it's a really uh I guess the best way I could say this without giving anything away, it's a very deep video. It's a very, very, very deep video, and so yeah, I think people are really gonna. I think they'll like it in a weird way. I think they'll really enjoy it. So
Oh, nice. Well, I look forward to that. That's a cool title, Pile of Bones. And then there was
yeah,
a song, I think, was this one called Good Lovin' that was like a Tom Petty, kind of Roy Orbison, joyous, upbeat song. I was like, that sounds intriguing too.
yeah, I think so, man. I think it's very yeah, it's like Roy Orbison, meets us, meets the Killers. I don't know, really, honestly, the best way to describe it. It's definitely out of our wheelhouse. I'll tell you that.
Hmm.
But it works, and I think I told the guys like after I got done doing my vocals for that track, I was like, that's the most fun I've ever had, ever singing. Like just from a pure like joyous, I'm having a good time in the studio, like vocally. Because a lot of times when you're in the, like in the vocal booth or like singing, like you're just focusing on every note, like making sure that, you're doing your job, obviously. But that time I was just like, I don't care what I sound like. I'm just going for it. If I'm flat, I'll do another take, whatever. But it was a lot of fun, man. That song is a lot of fun, and it's definitely out of our wheelhouse a little bit, but at the same time, it's in our wheelhouse. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's cool when bands evolve. I know because I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan and I love Appetite for Destruction, but I also really love the Use Your Illusions albums, which are
yeah,
a huge departure. But I feel like the band grew. And so I feel like I mean, there's nothing wrong with going the AC/DC route too, right? Where it's just like every album kind of sounds like the same album. But
right,
yeah,
yeah. No, I think you know for me, this record is kind of what we've always done in the past, more or less. That's just more put together because we're older and better musicians, really, and we're able to. We've always been huge Beatles fans, and bands that can kind of do everything, and kind of hit every category. And so, I think deep down, that's what we've always kind of wanted to do because all three of us have different likes as well. And so trying to showcase that and do it right is tough. But I think this record, it all fits the vibe and it's all there. And it's, I think people are really going to like it. There's really, I'm really proud of it. I think there's more work that has been put into this record than probably any other record. So I think we're all very, very proud of it. And hope everybody out there that hears it loves it, honestly. So
yeah. When you say so Beatles, are you saying some of you do you guys switch instruments and trade off vocals and things like that at all?
nah, nah, not quite like vocals and stuff. I mean, it's instrumentally in the studio and then even sometimes translated to stage, it can kind of be a little, this or that. Especially in the studio, it can be, all bets are off. Anybody can do anything type thing. Live, it gets a little more syncopated, so it's it doesn't drag the show down at all or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, if I fill a piano part in the studio, I'll go give it a shot, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you have the space to do that and to kind of mess around with it.
Hmm.
Because we've chased down ideas in the past that took us 3 hours and we never even kept what we were chasing down, or we've put something down real quick and we all, or somebody thought it was goofy and we put it down and everybody loved it. And, it took a minute to put down. So it's like you never know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because one of the songs I think I heard you guys talking about was a old school country song. That sounds intriguing also. Like, is like,
uh,
do you
yeah.
change the style for that at all? Like you do like a country twang kind of voice?
I don't know. I don't know if there's. I wouldn't call it country, but I would call it just stripped down acoustic,
Okay.
just normal us. I mean, people have always called us southern rock, country rock, whatever our whole career. So it's like, it's nothing new really for us. But I mean, there is a lot of focus on like my lower register of singing on this record. I would say I definitely got down lower than I normally would. So I guess you could say that's a little more country, I guess. But it's cool, man. It's fun, doing things different, and in that regard, yeah, it definitely was a little bit more, uh, you know, something we haven't done before, really. So,
That's cool. Is that which one is the next single, or can you say?
yeah, I can say the next one we'll be putting out is called "Riding Through." So, like, we got a music video for that one as well, and it's another upbeat rock and roll great song. Completely different vibe than the hard way, and it's I think people are really gonna like it. It keeps you moving. So
Yeah. How do you now? Do you try to get these songs on radio? I know radio is not as big a thing, but it's still something. So do you try radio? And then I know the bigger thing is the Spotify playlist. Are you attempting to get the music placed on either of those two things?
Always, always. We work with a company who helps us in every single type of digital outlet possible, whether it's stuff like that or syncs or licensing stuff, anything like that. So um, that stuff is really important. And radio, unless you're talking like indie or like college radio, I mean, active rock radio is basically classic rock radio for the most part. So I mean, I haven't really heard any bands remotely close to us on like current rock radio in a long time. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on if they want to play it. We're happy to be on there because I love listening to the radio. But
Well, you had a
yeah,
couple other songs that have been on rock radio. I mean, how did you get is that something the record company did? Because I don't understand how music gets played on the radio anymore. I mean, isn't it all like you kind of have to like know somebody or the record company has to like pay to get the song played? I don't really understand how it works.
yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of metrics, and honestly, I would be lying to you if I told you I knew how exactly how it worked today. I'm not really sure. It's all a lot. I know that it's definitely pay to play is a thing. So
Yeah.
in
And so
some
you
form or
said
fashion.
you have a company that's taking care of all that with the licensing. So would that also include stuff? Because I know you have that. I mean, that's how I found you guys was the Bud Light commercial, and then you were in like ESPN and video games and all this. You know, that stuff is another huge part of recording music now. Is that something they're working on as well?
Yeah, I think everything's on the table. I mean, everything gets looked at, and whatever we can get, and we'll take. So it's just kind of casting a net out there and see what happens.
Yeah, it's just it's such a flooded market. There's so many bands and there's so much music. And people always say like, "Oh, there's no good music anymore." And I'm like, "No, there's a lot. You just have to wade through all the other crap and
Yeah,
find good bands like yourself and Badflower and Hailstorm. I mean, there's tons of great stuff out there. Lots of good, but there's so much like, I mean, even with those rock charts, like because I'll go through, okay, this is the top 30 songs on radio. Let me go through. Okay, and some of them are just terrible and you got to wade through, okay, oh wow, that one's really good, so I don't, yeah, that's
right.
what's interesting about those playlists and things is trying to fight you still, and maybe it's just also my personal taste, so I don't know, but I love the new song that you guys have, so I'm excited
Well,
for more.
thank you, man. We're excited to get it out there, and we'll have to get you a bottle of our bourbon if you partake, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't right now because I'm doing this like 75-day thing where I don't have alcohol, I don't have a cheat meal. I'm like really trying to
Good.
get in shape. But yeah, after that, then I usually I will partake a little bit, yeah, here and there. It'd be a great way to celebrate the ending this 75 days of hell that I'm going through. It was like a nice glass of whiskey. That sounds amazing.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, how did that tell me about that, how that came about? It's a because I saw the bottle, it's called Three Chord Whiskey, and it was made specially for you guys. But I mean, obviously, you don't own the distillery yourself.
No, three chord has been around for a while, and Neil Gerardo, great great guy, excellent bourbon master connoisseur. He's married to Pat Benatar. Hit me with your best shot, and she's an amazing artist and classic rock. Um, and yeah, I think honestly, I think it was just kind of random. I think honestly, I don't remember exactly. I know somebody I believe it was with their company came across our song Three Chords, and it just kind of sparked a conversation between our camp and their camp because they were looking to do um, like artists, you know, bourbon or whatever. Artist curated bourbon, I guess you could say. And so it was just kind of perfect timing, perfect fit that our song and their company had the same name, and it worked out, and we started talking to him, and had several conversations with him, honestly, and we were sent several different batches of different blends, and it was a long process, honestly, to choose what we chose for our blend, but we ended up kind of following Neil's advice with that. But it's a really good, if you're a bourbon drinker or a cigar smoker, it's great, man. I mean, it really is up there with a lot of, some of my favorites, anyways. So
Can you describe? Or you have like like the nutty aroma and the aftertaste? Do you have those kind of descriptions, or do you just
yeah,
taste good?
it hits you harsh on the front end, and then that back end's kind of got a little bit of that cherry nutty. I don't even know how to describe it. But it's definitely got kind of like a little bit sweet overtone at the end, but not too sweet. Um, but I will say did enjoy I enjoyed it a lot with the cigar after we played Bourbon and Beyond last year. So that was a lot of fun.
That
So
sounds. Do you just drink it straight, or do you put it on the rocks, or mix it with anything, or
I typically will do like one ice cube, you
those
know.
big giant ice cubes? Those are the best.
Yeah, I'll do typically one of those if I have that, or two regular if I don't. And yeah, that's the way to go for sure.
It's got to be hard though, being in a rock band. Like, I just feel like it'd be dangerous for me because I would want to partake. I would want to party every night. I feel like everyone's having a good time, everyone's drinking, and you're on stage, and the energy is like through the roof. I mean, do you have to kind of like put yourself on probation a little bit, like, or do you just go, I'm doing a show, I'm gonna have fun?
I think once you get on tour and get into a rhythm, having a few drinks every show is fine because we have obviously days off in between shows and stuff. As long as you don't get crazy and lose yourself, you can make it manageable. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously it can be something that a lot of people struggle with. So as we've all seen in the past, so it's
Definitely.
definitely,
Well, and then it's like that downward spiral where, if it's not just the drinking and people get into the pills and stuff. That's where it gets like crazy to me. Like, I'm scared of I mean, even if I ever have like a surgery or anything, I'm like, I don't know if I even want the pain pills. I've just seen so many stories and documentaries on people taking a pain pill and then they get hooked and then they become like a fiend. It's scary.
yeah. Well, I mean, that can happen anywhere. I mean, shoot. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people that I've either known or friends of friends or whatever that they have a work accident or something or a car wreck and they get on pills and then they're stuck. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, as far as like being on the road and stuff, it's pretty manageable once you get your schedule and your system lined up and keep yourself in check, and you're good to go.
It's got to be so much easier being on the road now than like in the 80s and stuff. Like, because now everyone has a phone and tablets and all this stuff. And
Mhm.
you can get like, I mean, you got a baseball hat there. So you could get like the MLB package and you could watch every
Right.
baseball game on your phone. And now you
Absolutely.
can, I don't know if you guys have the betting apps down there, but oh God, those are so fun. I mean, if you just throw $10 on a game, you can bet on every game, makes it more interesting. And it's like, there's so much more stuff to do to overcome the boredom of touring.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I think that's hilarious. You say betting apps. Our bass player is like the king of that.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
is it legal in Nashville or in Tennessee? I can't remember.
yeah, it is. It
It is,
is
okay.
now. I think it's been legal for like maybe a year or a little longer. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, we've got that here for sure. I stay away from it, man. I am not good with gambling. So
Really?
I mean, honestly, when I go to casinos, I'm hit and miss. Like sometimes I'll win huge, and then other times I'll lose, a little bit. I never lose a lot.
Yeah.
I've won more than I've lost. I will say that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool thing about the sports thing, though, is like I said, like you can do like a $10 bet on a game. And so $10 will last you whatever, 3 hours, however long the game is.
Yeah,
And I mean, if you really wanted to be, you could bet a dollar if you really wanted to be. And you can do like a long shot dollar bet that wins 100, something like crazy like that. It's just fun. Makes it more
yeah,
interesting.
it makes it way more interesting, especially if your team, like sucks, like your personal favorite sports team or whatever. Well, then you can get reacclimated with sports again,
Yeah.
because you got money on it.
Is that your team? Is the Angels?
No, Atlanta
Oh,
Braves.
sorry, that's Atlanta. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
am I
yeah.
thinking?
I was born
They're
in
local.
Atlanta, actually.
The Braves are really good this year too.
We'll see, man. We'll see. The Dodgers are too, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Baseball's tough because like there's so many games. It starts out and you're like, oh wow, my team's like really good or my team's really bad.
Yeah.
And then it's a totally different ball game, no pun intended, by October. It's like totally different.
It's interesting. They're talking that there's been talks about a major league team coming to Nashville, so we'll see if that happens.
Wow. So then would you switch and would you be a fan of that team or would you root for both or
They would be my number two team for
yeah.
sure. I'm always going to be a Braves fan, so um,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't jump the wagon. I guess is that the right
Yeah,
term?
I don't
Jump
know.
the
Yeah.
wagon.
No, I agree. Yeah, because like I'm from Seattle, but I haven't had like a big baseball fan, but I'm a Mariners fan. But now that I
Right.
live in Arizona, I'm like, well, I'm gonna root for the Diamondbacks too. I don't know. I mean, I
Absolutely.
feel like it's easy to root for two baseball teams, and it's just like something to do, like watch it, bet on
Yeah.
it, go to games and stuff. But yeah, if the Mariners, I mean, that'd be it'd still be my number one. Like if they're playing each other,
Right.
I'm gonna try to root for the Mariners and hope that they beat them. But yeah, it's fun to like. I think it's just fun to watch sports like basketball, football, all that stuff. It's just a good way to keep past the time, especially I would imagine being on tour, there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah, there is. But to your point, I think if I like, I've never liked the Phillies because they beat up on the Braves a bunch over the years.
Mm,
But if I like had to move to Philly, I probably would start watching Phillies games. Unfortunately, it's just because it's you live somewhere and you're around it. It's like might as well watch it, and support
right.
it.
The only thing
Yeah,
I can't do that was like I'm such a loyal Seahawks fan. Like I can't root for the Cardinals. I mean, I would if the
yeah,
Seahawks were like out of the playoffs or something and the Cardinals were in it. Like when the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl a long time ago, the Seahawks were done. It was like the Cardinals and Steelers. I was like, well, I guess I'll root for the Cardinals. I mean, I don't have any ties to the Steelers or whatever, but
right.
yeah, I don't know. Sports are funny. It's
Yeah,
a good way to
everybody
pass the
reacts
time.
differently.
What's that?
Said everybody reacts differently too sometimes.
Yeah, it's rare that a lot of musicians do not care about sports at all. Though there's a lot of like, whenever I ask like, "Oh, you're from this city? Are you a fan of the?" Like a lot of musicians are like, "Oh, I don't watch sports." Like a lot of people that were into music didn't get into sports for some reason.
I couldn't help it, man. I loved it ever since I was a kid. Like I loved every sport. Like got the video games, played the sports, even though I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Again, there's a reason why I do music, but definitely like all of it. It's
Right.
fun.
Well, and I think because I think we talked about that last time. How like you grew up in the South in like the Pentecostal thing, and so like you couldn't. There was like certain things that you weren't allowed to do, but I'm assuming sports was like that was okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we had access to it, like basketball. I played basketball when I was a kid, and I think I played little league like 1 year, baseball. Um, but yeah, that was kind of acceptable. So
Do you play any sports
as long
now,
as we
or
wore long pants, we couldn't wear shorts.
do you play any sports now, or you do any exercise or anything?
I mean, I'll exercise and do stuff, but I don't play any sports. No, I broke my ankle like 4 years ago, and so that really like kind of changed my whole workout sports.
How did you do it?
Playing the game 500. Like with the football or whatever. Somebody
Oh
throws
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It was with a frisbee, and we were playing, and I went to grab it and came down and just we were in the street.
Uh,
I should have known better, but whatever.
yeah. Shit. Like knock on wood. I gotta find wood to knock. I've never broken a bone. I hope I never have to go through. It sounds awful.
Yeah, man. I hope not.
I don't know how I avoided it. I feel like everyone I know broke, like as kids, especially, you're just doing stupid stuff. You break your arm. This kid, you always have the
Oh yeah.
cast and you sign your friend's cast, in high school, middle school, elementary, but somehow I didn't ever break a bone. It's a miracle.
Yeah, I was always hurting something. Not necessarily breaking bones, but getting black eyes randomly or, a lot of head injuries, you know, which is where I come up with all these crazy lyric ideas.
There's something to that though. I think wasn't it like Roseanne, the comedian? She got in a car wreck and she hit her head, and like they said she was never the same since then. But that's
Yeah,
like how became such a good comedian because like I think it turned off her filter or whatever. And so she just said all these crazy things and people were like, "Oh, that's really funny." Like
yeah,
whereas I think if she didn't have that accident, she would have been too scared to do that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it's good, man. I'm glad you haven't broken any bones. So let's keep that. Let's keep that happening.
Me too. Let's keep that streak. The new album comes out June 28th. And the first single's out now. The second single is coming out soon, I'm assuming.
Yeah, in the next few weeks we'll have it out along with the music video, and I think the plan is to put like 3 to 4 singles out before the album comes out. So there'll be a few, there'll be a few more that people can sample and preview before the full album comes out. So
Okay. And then hopefully more tour dates to be added. Hopefully you come through Phoenix, although I don't wish you to come here in the summer because it's hell. But I think, did you tell me about coming to Flagstaff? You should come to Flagstaff in the summer. It's really great.
I think it was Flagstaff. Yeah, I would love. I don't care what time of year it is. I want to get out west. So hopefully we see you sooner rather than later.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this, and I'll get this episode up in a bit.
Hey, it was my pleasure. It was good to talk to you again, man.
Yeah, you too. Stay in touch.
Hey, good luck with the clean eating, no drinking, brother.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to need it.
All right, man. Have a good one, bro.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.